All righty, good afternoon. Welcome back here to Trader Minute. Great to have you aboard. Let's go talk positions here. Let's talk about some of the different things that are going on and some of the trades that are out there. Um, I'm looking at the chat. We're hammering things out in the back room, right? Yeah, no back room deals. No, obviously when it comes to when it comes to trading and things like that, one of the things I've done over the years is I've always taken my decisions and said, hey, you know what? Bottom line, I'm responsible for them, but I want somebody else's thoughts and ideas and things like that. And when it comes to USO and XLE and ABX and 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 TLT, I'm not real worried about it. Silver though, SLV, is something I'm a little concerned with, and I've mentioned that concern here today. And the stocks basically, the SLV is basically where it gapped down to this morning. It opened about 10 cents higher. The options are still trading around 60 cents, and they've been at that point almost the entire day. I shared with you earlier one of my experiences with trading silver from 2009. I've had many other experiences trading silver since then. And I'm going to hold on to silver. Now, I say that a little reluctantly because my concern is that it's going to spend maybe 2 or 3 days, maybe drifting lower, maybe down to 2070, maybe down to 2065. And then 3 days later, we'll get that pop. We'll have one of those 4 day runs, 5 day runs. Not really concerned that it doesn't get back up to 22 and a half and into 23. Pretty comfortable that that's going to happen over the next 3 weeks. But is it going to drift lower first, 2070, 2060, before it pops? And being end of month here, being a start of a brand new month tomorrow. We could see it pop tomorrow. We could see it pop on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The timing of that isn't going to be completely evident, and we're probably going to be dealing with a gap. So, it's one of those decisions where frankly I don't want to watch it drift lower. 10 cents, 20 cents, 40 cents. I don't want to watch it drift lower, but at the same time, when I look at what the right decision is for the trade and where the probabilities are and where the risk reward is, I'm going to hold it. And did not expect for it to gap down to this level. Was hoping that we'd have a break of the seven that would say, hey, you know what, time to get out. But knowing silver, yeah, doesn't always do that. I do have a buddy of mine who trades silver a lot, and he's constantly emailing with me back and forth. Um, he thinks I should stay in for whatever that's worth, but it's I'm going to make that decision and I'm going to hold it here on the SLV and Carl's all for that as well here. And so while yes, the trade is broken, okay, it's broken, and it's something that I would be looking to maybe buy up a little bit here. And I may actually look to add a little bit if we start to get a gap up or if we start to get down to about 2060, looking to add a little bit more. The trade on silver is broken if the SLV breaks 20, okay? And more so if it breaks 20 and we start to see silver futures, okay, where these silver futures really start to break down below this 2150 area. 2173 was the overnight reaction low. We've traded in that reaction low. And I'm more concerned if what do I do with silver when it hits 2220, 2230 than I am with what if it keeps going lower. Do we have a slight rebound and then go lower? But gonna hold it here and evaluate it from a day-by-day basis and go forward there. as I look at the gold, as I look at silver, the other metals, we don't see a shift in trend. All we're seeing is a pullback catalyzed by the Fed, and I would argue that it was pretty much pre-planned by some of the gold silver main traders out there. So I will show you tomorrow some COT charts, some commitment of timing charts that will also kind of help shed some light on why I'm going to hold it. Like I said, I don't want to hold it for the sheer fact that I don't want it to dominate the trading or affect getting into other good positions. Okay, so we won't do that. And I probably won't talk extensively about silver every day, but it's probably something that, hey, look at here 2-3 weeks, and I'm pretty comfortable we'll be sitting with some profits there. The other position that that I've talked about and I'm very comfortable with is TLT. This TLT, and I know it's been up, down, and all around, but it's not really gone anywhere. Today it's up a quarter. If it were down a quarter, the commentary would be the same here with TLT. Closing above 108 would be very positive for TLT, and I do expect that we see that. Okay, I do expect that we see that. Okay. AK, so SLV is an all or nothing. No, we will. Some of the SLV, we're not going to see a lot of value erode out of that. The delta has shrunk considerably. So over the next week, we're probably not going to see a huge value shift. Yeah, I mean, if SLV gaps down another dollar, yeah, I mean, we're basically hosed there. Okay, so there is some of that risk with breaking that level here today. Look, I'm not gonna argue with anybody who pops out of SLV here. I'm just not gonna do it. It's just one of those tough trade decisions, and those of you who know me, you know that when it comes down to many of those trade decisions, I tend to want to give it a little bit more time. Okay. Yeah, Tradehound SLV is a trend rider. Yeah, it's broken some of that with breaking the 7. Okay, but the main uptrend is still there. Okay, the main uptrend is still there. Okay. Yeah, AK, I agree. I think the gap down was nonsense. I think there's some. Well, there's always manipulation in the short term in the gold and silver markets. That's well known, well documented. They don't even try to hide it anymore, and it's why you see some of these, big gap ups and big gap downs, and some of the extreme trading that you see. The question that I ask myself is, okay, are we dealing with a lower high that's going to a lower low? That would destroy the trade. Okay, but overall, I think we're more dealing with a cup and handle, head and shoulders type of a pattern here. I think we have some of the fundamental aspects that have shifted here for the metal, and to give us a catalyst up into the 23, 24 area there. So I'm gonna hold on there. Okay. Again, it's one of those decisions. As a trader, it's not an easy decision. It's if the SLV were at 2160 here at the close, and it had kind of trickled down all day, it's going to close at 2160. I'd say, you know what, I want out. I'll look to get back in down around 2070, 2080. All right, TLT. Okay, no changes there. USO, which we got. Well, let's. What's the other trend rider? USO here, which we got into the trend rider for. One of you commented that the trade wasn't working, and I'm not sure what you were referring to. But with USO, I'm not going to expect a big drop every day. USO will tend to go on these 2 to 3 week moves, and it's in one of these down moves right here. It's held up very well today. The downside pressure has continued. Our price target remains, and it'll probably take 2 to 3 weeks for USO to work. The way we structured it, it's not going to be a big payoff. Even if USO goes down another 25 cents tomorrow, but gets to our target will be a very nice payoff. And if it breaks back above 35 and we're forced out, we'll take a small loss and move on. Now for the candlestick trades. Okay, ABX. Okay, obviously we've talked about this one. Volatile up down. More of a all or nothing. Didn't put a full position on for that reason. We see ABX close above 20 again. I will absolutely think about putting a full position on at that point. But I would like to see it break above 20 one more time. Again, my concern with ABX isn't is it going up, is it going to 1850 first? Okay, but having structured the trade the way I did, I don't have to worry about it the same way as I do SLV. And then the XLE, which turned around, was down about 50, well, it was up about 35 cents earlier today, down about 50, 60 cents at one point. Rebounded, was up about 40, 45 cents not too long ago. Now it's only up 13 cents. There's no technical significance in the trade of XLE today. And one of the reasons we see it volatile today is Exxon, okay? But it's also last day of the month too. And just sometimes you'll see a little more random action. But from a technical standpoint, everything is still intact here. My concern with XLE is simply this: the trade's gone stale. I mean, we've been in it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, and enough's enough. But at the same time, uh, we're still there, and I think it's a great place to have some money and some exposure that could pay off very well here. Okay. Now I have some money to do another candlestick trade. Okay. I'm not going to, being that's the last day of the month. Carl decided, as far as some of those vibes in DuPont and some of those top three that he showed, he's going to wait till tomorrow, see where those things open up at, simply because of the utter lack of volume. Okay, and last day of the month, you tend not to get the clearest of signals overall, and you kind of see that in the positions we're already in. So we will look tomorrow morning. We'll have the ISM manufacturing data 8 o'clock in the morning Mountain, 10 o'clock Eastern, and you tend to start see things set up right after that data, and so we'll kind of take a look there, as far as uh, as far as entering there. Let's take a look here at a couple things. Was asked about IWM. If I think this is a good entry point for IWM downside. We talked about it earlier. I said may get a little cheaper. It got cheaper. IWM went positive. It's pulled back here into the close. Pushing back up above the 7 hour. If I come into this hourly chart, pushing back up above the 7 hour, still above the 7 hour and closing there. It's one where I think IWM over the month of November will pay off. IWM puts will pay off over the month of November. Uh, could you still get it cheaper tomorrow? Could we still see IWM go to 112? Yeah, we could. So if you're going to put some in, you're going to buy some IWM, I would save a little cash to buy some more. At a different price here, whatever price you would like to choose there. Okay. Bank of America, has been some chatter about Bank of America here. A lot of that chatter because the put options on Bank of America. Let me show those to you here. Bank of America weeklies that expire tomorrow. Okay, that expire tomorrow. The puts, the 14 puts are 5 cents. Okay, they're 5 cents. So what does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? Well, if Bank of America is at $13.95 tomorrow, these 14 puts are worth 5 cents. So $13.95 is the break-even point tomorrow on expiration for Bank of America. Okay? Anything below $13.95 is gravy. So Bank of America, could it go to $13.75? Could it go to the lower Bollinger Band tomorrow? Yeah, it could. And so, to go out and buy just a few of these options, you'll be up 500% on them if it does go to 13.75. And if it doesn't, you have to look at it as, hey, I'm only putting in gambling money, okay? There's trading and then there's gambling. In Bank of America, structuring it with that option is much more of a gamble than a trade. Now, I can't argue with you putting a trade on Bank of America and going out and doing some November put options or something like that using the 7-day moving average. We have a strong bearish continuation um, pattern here on Bank of America from a candlestick standpoint. So I can't argue any of that. Those of you who were on with me earlier this afternoon, you saw that I bought a few of these Bank of America call put options. Okay, again, just as a gamble, I didn't do it for the website or anything else. Okay. Other questions that have come in revolve around Facebook. Okay, Facebook off of its highs. Okay, look, I looked at this several times as far as an entry. I've looked at calls, looked at puts. Overall, I I can't find myself to pull the trigger on it one way or the other. Um, and a lot of that becomes, yes, on the chart here, we see a bullish engulfing, right? We see that it opened lower and has moved higher all the way up to 50. Okay, bonus, right? But if we come and really look at what the chart is, okay, what the real chart is after earnings yesterday, when it popped up to 58, and we're $8 off our highs, we're $4 off our lows. And so it's not necessarily indicative that bullish engulfing doesn't necessarily show the true story here with Facebook. Okay? Look, bottom line, Facebook, the earnings were fine. Okay, the earnings were fine, but we're still talking about a stock in Facebook whose valuations are ridiculous in a market that's going to correct. And if the market is going to correct, stocks with this type of valuation, they pull back hard, they pull back heavy, they pull back fast. Okay, and that's the risk that you take. Tesla, Priceline, any of those, you're basically taking that type of risk there. Uh, Baidu kind of hand in hand there with Facebook. Okay, Baidu had earnings yesterday. Gap down today is held up pretty well. I don't see a trade really here on Baidu. Overall, there's not a great setup here. We're basically consolidating between 155 and 170. It probably needs some time to just chill out for a little while and go flat or even bleed lower or bleed higher. But I don't think there's a great entry point right here with Baidu. You're looking to short some China oil. Here's PTR, PetroChina. Okay, PetroChina. This can be a little bit of a volatile trade, but if you're looking at indicators, the overall trends here, PTR with about a 116 stop is setting up very nicely here. China will be releasing a lot of data here soon, and so a lot will, PTR will hinge a lot on that. But especially for those of you who want to hedge silver or something like that, PetroChina becomes a very interesting trade there. Alrighty, so we're gonna head into the close here. We're gonna keep what we have. Okay, we're gonna keep what we have here. Again with SLV, keeping it reluctantly. Okay, those of you who are gonna pop out, I can't argue with you. Can't make a great argument with you. My concern with SLV is that it's just going to be a frustrating trade for the next 5, 6, 7 days. That it just doesn't do anything. It drifts lower, down 40 cents, down 20 cents. But from all indications, I think SLV has one of these types of August moves here to come. I'll show you a little bit more tomorrow of why I think that. with some of the COT charts, and we'll go from there. All right. Well, Halloween tonight. Those of you that like to dress up, go and trick or treat, have fun. Those of us that get to stand at the door and hand candy out, have fun. But anyway, if Halloween's your thing, hope you have a great and safe night, and we'll talk to you again in the morning. Take care.